What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this week with news, there wasn't a whole lot going on, just the same old, um, with the whole election affair and crap. Trump will not concede, and he shouldn't because he didn't lose. So, anyways, the two main things I saw that was a lot of people were talking about was, number one, apparently there is a Coming to America sequel to the 80s classic Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and James Earl Jones. Apparently this is something to do with Akeem's son. Now, I really liked the first one, but in later years, for a while now, Eddie's he's not been real funny. I don't know what happened to him, but him being really funny is kind of like, in the later years. So I don't know if this is going to be any good or not. Hopefully it will be. We'll see. At least it's not a reboot or a remake. It's a sequel. He's probably just low on cash, and he knows this title will get him some quick money. So good luck with that. We'll see how it turns out. It better have some Soul Glow in it, though. I want to hear some Soul Glow music in it. We'll see. Next thing that I saw that a lot of people seem to be talking about was, of course, the whole season 2 of The Mandalorian. I liked the second season. It wasn't that bad. The first season was good. This one was a little bit better, I think. However, I don't care for the woman who's playing Ahsoka, because she doesn't quite look exactly like her, for one, and two, she played her like she was a cold-hearted assassin. Is the way she came off, and I didn't like that at all. Ahsoka's not anything like that. At least in the Clone Wars, she wasn't anything like that. So I know she's been through a lot, as time has gone on. With, of course, Vader and everything, but it still would make her into a cold-hearted assassin. So it just didn't gel with me at all. I like Cara Dune. She's a good character. But honestly, the character that I really liked the most, besides Boba Fett, of course, was Mayfield, Bill Burr's character. That character was awesome. I really liked that character and the story behind him. I would have really liked to see more with that character. Maybe with them going forward, they might do some more if they plan on doing a season 3, or maybe he'll come and join Boba Fett's crew or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I give The Mandalorian season 2 2 thumbs up. It was a good show. Good show. Definitely check it out if you haven't. The whole idea of Luke Skywalker showing up at the end was really cool. It was a little surprising, but it was actually pretty cool. And the fact that Baby Yoda, or Gooku, or whatever you want to call him, He recognized R2-D2. I know there's something up with that. Like maybe he saved him from the temple. I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. Definitely a good show. They can forget the rest of that, most of that other crap that Kathleen Kennedy tried to present, because it all looked like junk as far as I'm concerned. But the whole revealing of the Boba Fett thing, that one I definitely look forward to. They were supposed to do a movie about him anyway, so I definitely look forward to that series. Okay, that's all for the news. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, movieaholics, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. This week, of course, we're back to Sci-Fi Week. The first one I want to talk to you about was done in 1996. It starred Rutger Hauer and Shannon Winnie, and it was called Omega Doom. Now, I don't know what it was. You know, during the late 70s and early 80s, it was all like post-apocalyptic B-rated movies that everybody kept trying to come out with because of the whole Mad Max thing. And then, once you got into the 90s, it was like all cyborg craze crap because, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme did the movie Cyborg, and everybody had to do a cyborg movie as a B-rated movie. It was crazy. Omega Doom's not too far off. They're not really cyborgs. They're basically robots or androids. But it falls in that genre, the cyborg genre thing of the 90s. This movie kind of reminds you of an old spaghetti western. You basically had two gangs. One was basically your regular run-of-the-mill soldier droid gang. There's only each gang composed about 3 of them or so, maybe 4, and then on the other side you have what they called the ROMs, which was like a higher grade of droid, assassin type droids. Of course, they all 3 were women, and they were dressed like Trinity from the Matrix. Go figure. But this was before the Matrix. But anyway, it was kind of funny looking. Now, Rutger Hauer plays a character known as Omega Doom, which is the best of the droids. During the so-called, they had a war with humans. The humans were nearly wiped out and went into hiding. Omega Doom is shot in the head, screws up his circuitry. The humans reprogram him to seek out droids and get them to either destroy each other or come to peaceful terms with themselves. If the droids can be peaceful, then he's to let them live. The whole story is you have these 2 rival gangs of droids in this town. When they first showed up, they pretty much wiped almost each other out. Then they called a truce so they could find what they considered treasure. There are rumors of a huge human army coming to wipe them out. They have a hidden stash of guns or weapons somewhere in the town that they think that they're coming to get to use on them. So they're trying, the droids are trying to find them first. Omega Doom basically plays each gang against the other until they pretty much almost wipe each other out. He eventually finds the stash, but he leaves 3 of them. One's a teacher, one's a like a bartender who used to be a nanny, and then he leaves one of the ROMs who changes her way, and he leaves them 3 to be guardians over the stash, and while he goes and finds other peaceful droids to join him. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. This movie, as far as special effects go, I mean, they were okay for what they were. It wasn't like super fantastic. There wasn't any real like huge action scenes or anything like that. So nothing major as far as special effects go. You know, I give it a 2, just because it was just barely passable. Acting, the acting wasn't really all that great. It was okay. Of course, Rutger Hauer, you know, he's one of my favorite B actors, you know, of the 80s. So, you know, he's okay. But the rest of them were just, yeah, it's okay. I give it a 2. Story-wise, well, story-wise, this kind of story's already been done several times in many other movies, mainly in your spaghetti westerns. So again, I give the story, I'll give the story a 2 as well. Overall, this movie, it wasn't all that great. It was okay. It was passable. You could watch it. You know, I give it, you know, a -3. I mean, it was just barely worth watching. So a thumb up, a thumb down. If you're into sci-fi classics, go ahead and check it out. But it really wasn't all that great. Moving on. The next movie I want to talk to you about was done in 1990. It started Sven O. Thorson. You probably recognize him in quite a number of movies. He usually plays, like, most generally he's the muscle in the movie, you know, the big guy. Like, he was in The Running Man, he was in Gladiator. Big dude. He's a big time choreographer for all kinds of martial weapons. He knows a lot of type of weapons, so he choreographs a lot of fight scenes for movies, and like I said, sometimes he's in them. He actually played a main role in this one. He played the villain in this one. And then you had Jesse Ventura. I'm not sure if he did any other movies, really. I didn't pay attention to, but this is the only one I know of that he's actually in. Jesse Ventura is fairly well known. You know, he used to be a wrestler in the 80s, and then he was a governor for a while. This movie is called Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe. Uh, Basically, the story is Jesse and Savan, they play Abraxas and Cicadas, and they're like 10,000-year-old space cops or galactic police officers is what they are. They've been around for like 10,000 years supposedly. They end up coming to Earth, which is like way out of their galactic empire's boundaries. It's on the far edge of, just outside of their border, galactic border or whatever. There's an outpost, and it's got two other alien guys in there who supposedly speak for this huge galactic empire police force or whatever. You don't ever actually see it. But supposedly once in a great while, one of these galactic policemen will go rogue, and they want to find something called the anti-life equation, which is supposed to be like something that makes them like a godlike, gives them like godlike powers. But in order to do that, they have to mate with somebody, a child, which they call the culminator, which would give them this anti-life equation that they could steal from them, rip it out of their head to make them like a god. Now throughout the movie, Jesse and Savan, their characters are constantly fighting over this child and this woman, the child's mother. There's a lot of questionable stuff that happens in this movie. Like, they can warp them off the planet at any time. So a lot of times it didn't make any sense why they weren't doing that. They were just letting them fight most of the time, even though they could have ended it at any point in time, this outpost. So it made no sense. Why does it have to be an Earth child or Earth female or whatever? For some reason it had to be a female from Earth that makes the culminator or whatever this child is. So that didn't make no sense. There were several things that were questionable with the story. In the end, Jesse, his character saves the day. Doesn't really kill off Savan. There's supposedly some policy or something that they can't kill what they call the police, galactic policemen. They call them finders. So they can't kill off the finders. So he sends them off into an alternate universe or some crap at the end. It's really weird. But he basically saves the day and then ends up staying with the mother and child because he likes them. And then he thinks that somebody should stay behind and protect him. And that's the end of the movie. Now, they also have another questionable thing they call the answer box. I don't know. This is the dumbest name I've ever heard for a little computer or whatever that gives them, helps them out. But it's like on a wrist computer, like a watch or something. They call the answer box. It was, it give them, it could track stuff for them and answer questions for them and stuff like that. It was kind of dumb, answer box, but whatever. Special effects. The special effects in this movie was actually quite cheesy. I give it a 2 because it wasn't really that very good at all, the special effects. So special effects get a 2 for me. It's just really cheesy, really bad special effects. as far as the acting goes, yeah, it was passable. But again, I give it a 2. The acting was not really good. It's just a surprise for you. James Belushi is in this movie too. He has a small little part as like some school counselor, but he's in it too. But the acting was just not really good. I give it a 2. Jesse Ventura is not an actor. As far as the story-wise go, this story was I actually liked the story. Surprisingly, I give it a 3. The story was really good, to be honest. I thought it could have been done a hell of a whole lot better. I mean, it's a low-budget movie, so they couldn't do a whole lot with the story. It was actually a really good story. I think it would have been a lot better if they actually had, the budget to do a decent movie and get some decent actors in there. So I give the story a 3. It was actually a decent story. Overall, this movie, I'm going to give it a -3. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't that good either. It was passable, watchable. That's about it. So again, a thumbs up and a thumbs down for this one too. Just like the Omega Doom, I give this a -3 overall. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. Tune in until next time. I have a couple more for you. If you have any thoughts on what I mentioned earlier in this video, please leave them down in the comment section down below. If you have any suggestions or gems or some movies or something, B-rated movies I might have missed that I should probably check out and give a review on, please leave your suggestions down in the comments section down below. Until next time, I told you be told the truth, and you've just been told.